Hello, my name is Richard Halter. I'm the president of Global Retail Technology Advisors. This presentation is one of a series of presentations on the various interface standards created by the Association for Retail Technology Standards and now under the Object Management Group's umbrella. This one is on digital receipt. Over 20 years, I was the man behind the curtain helping to create the enormous number of retail standards that exist today. As a result, somebody once said that I was the Wizard of Pause. To help understand all of this information, I have created a book called Arts for Retail. If you're interested, you can get it at Amazon. In 2016, I was flown to Japan to speak for the Smarter Retailing Forum. As you can see, there were over 590 attendees. It was standing room only, and they actually turned away a lot of people. The reason I was there was because of the 2020 Olympics are being held in Japan. And the Japanese government has declared that all vendors are going to issue digital receipts for all purchases made during the Olympics. And I want to issue a special thanks for Mr. Furuhara Tadashi, as he is the one who guided my efforts in this endeavor. Here are a set of use cases that deal with using a digital receipt, starting, of course, with sale recording. There's a couple of scenarios. One, the customer pays with a mobile phone and receives a digital receipt directly on their phone. Another one is a customer purchases theater tickets using his phone and gets the tickets on his phone so he can get in. You move on around to the right, you get into the customer viewing. So one customer wants to look at a list of items that they've purchased. Go on around, you get into the target marketing area, and the customer gets a targeted coupon that helps them. On around into visual merchandising, you can get an automatic shopping list created, and this is tied into the IoT world. You can receive the coupon. You can complete a survey embedded in the digital receipt, and you can even embed rebate information in the receipt for the customer to look at. Moving on around, end user financials, of course, the receipt going to their customers' financials so that they can record them at home through their application. If you've got a payment dispute, you can use the digital receipt as a way to validate what actually happened. You move it around to rebates, redemption tracking. This is all about digital coupons and seeing what happened to them. So you can review the redeemed manufacturing coupon information or retailer coupon information. And of course, the opposite of the sales recording is the return and exchange case policy. So the customer can review the return policy for the items they've purchased with their digital receipt. They can use the digital receipt to return an item. They can request a return and receive a return receipt. And if they need to exchange an item, they can use the digital receipt to record and document that exchange. In the digital receipt, customer information is everywhere. For example, you can start with a retail transaction and use it to identify the customer related to this transaction. You can move around and deal with restriction validations. You can verify the customer is old enough to purchase items like alcohol or firearms. Tendering identification in order to verify the customers who they say they are. You can identify if they're present in store or on the internet. Loyalty is a customer member of some loyalty program. If not, you can use it to enroll them. If so, you can add this purchase to their account. Suggested sales. What can I recommend for this customer? What has the customer bought in the past? So we can tell them, hey, you know, this hat goes with those shoes. Price modifier. Does this customer qualify for some type of discount, i.e. a senior citizen? And was it applied? It also deals with delivery. So where do I deliver this item or pick up this item from this customer? This is a block diagram of the digital receipt schema. starting at the crop with digital receipt, and underneath it there are one or more various transactions that can be embedded in one digital receipt coming from different channels. And transactions can have two different kinds: a retail transaction, which is actually the finished tendered and delivered items, or a customer order transaction, which is a transaction in process. These are both comprised of all number of different line item types, from sales to delivery to tendering to tax. All are contained underneath the retail transaction. So many of these have item information embedded in them. So we have a common item setup, and you have the retail price modifier, as we talked about a minute ago, to track any sort of discounts that can be applied. There are various taxes that can be applied to either at the line item level or at the transaction level. And there are things for exemptions and overrides of those and recording the results of those decisions. And then finally, there's tendering. As you can see, there's a large number of different tendering types that apply to this digital receipt. So now let's look at the various line items under a digital receipt. We start with three different kinds of sales. We have your regular sale, and then a sale for delivery or pickup. We have an equivalent return for delivery or pickup. We talked about taxes a minute ago. Tender, there's two things. There's the tender and the tender change recorded as two separate line items. We have customer orders for delivery, customer orders for pickup, and a previous customer order in case they want to come make a progress payment on something that they're buying. We have loyalty reward, loyalty redemption, points that they've got if they do an inquiry, and we have retrospective loyalty if you want to give them some points to honor them for something. There are coupons. Typically at this point we're looking at retailer coupons as they're taken off prior to tendering and taxation. There's a whole list of different kinds of discounts, rebates. If there's a rebate associated with one of the products on this list, you can link that rebate to that product. Deposits, you can record deposits. Gift registry and gift certificates, being able to deal with something like marriages or births. Stored value, being able to give them money on a stored value card of some type. Layaways and previous layaways, so you can put something on layaway and then you can make progress payments on that layaway. Rain checks, although these are mostly going away, but you can give somebody a rain check so they can buy the item in the future at the price that it's on sale for. We can record fuel sales in here. And rounding. Rounding occurs primarily in the Europe world, in the EU, where they round things to the nearest, like dollar, for example, in order to minimize the number of pennies they need in their cash register. And finally, we want to be able to record donations. So if somebody gives a donation to a particular charity. So for each of the line items that have item information associated with it, there are various kinds of item types that can be there. For example, we start with a stock item. Well, 90% of what people buy are stock items. They're shirts, shoes, they're physical items. We can also have an item type of a service. So they want to rent a floor buffer. They can have an item type of a deposit or a return. Alteration's another one. So there you would have something as a service, but here you have instructions on how to do the service. Tear, what does that plastic cup weigh so that we can take it off of the weight of the salad that we're trying to record? Is there a table charge? If we got more than 10 people, is there a fee associated with the group? Is it a line item? Is it an item collection? And here's where we talk about kits and combos and things like that. Gratuity. Was there a specific gratuity that was given? So is this tender a gratuity? You can tell with the item type. Fee. Was there a specific fee applied to this? This is very closely related to the table charge. Table charge, of course, is typically normally a food service thing. And finally, is this a warranty information? Under the item information, one of the things would be item prices. Now, a lot of these things that I'm showing you wouldn't necessarily appear in a digital receipt, but they're being shown here for completeness. So you start with the factory and you get a unit list price. You get a suggested price from the factory. You get a unit cost price. You add in your profits and all that, and you get your regular sales unit price. You then start looking at applying discounts, one or more discounts, in which case, if there's more than one, you add them together to get an extended discount amount, and then you get your actual sales unit price when you subtract your discount amount from your regular sales unit price. And that becomes your extended amount. And this is what the customer actually pays. One of the line items is a discount. And I've got here a little more insight into what is a discount under this. So you've got three different levels. One level is a discount that is applied to the entire transaction. For example, a senior citizen's discount. You can have a discount that is tied to multiple line items, which fall into the best pricing algorithm. For example, if they buy line item 1 with 4 patio chairs and line item 2 is a table, and you scan in line item 3 a gallon of milk, and then they add in line item 4, which is a patio umbrella, well, it turns out that 1, 2, and 4 create a 10% discount. So you can track that. And then, of course, at the individual item level, under a retail price modifier, you can record the discount applied to that item. So we talk about retail price modifiers, which are discounts at the item level. There are various types. For example, a promotion, a markdown, an end of season markdown, some sort of price override, a coupon, typically a retailer's coupon. Is it a price rule? Is it a quantity discount? You buy 10, you get the 11th one free. Is it a target offer, something we sent to this particular customer? Is it some sort of reward program? How about a cash discount to help with a disgruntled customer? Or a rebate, something that came from the vendor? The senior citizen discount, which is the one that I like because I qualify for it now. It's a trade discount. Or maybe it's a credit card reward. And finally, the one that I like is a trade in kind. If you bring your cow in, I'll let you buy 3 shirts and a pair of shoes. One interesting thing in the digital receipt is it's designed to cover both food service and retail, in which case there's one conflicting naming model, if you will, between the two. If you buy something in retail, they call it a kit. So buying the table, the chairs, and the umbrella as 3 different line items makes it a kit. Whereas in the food service world, if you buy a hamburger, fries, and a Coke, it becomes a combo. And so both of those models are handled in the digital receipt. This is the part the retailer likes, but getting the customer to pay for whatever their items are. And there are a number of different ways that are supported in digital receipt. For example, there's cash, and of course the normal credit debit model. They can use checks. They can tender it to an account, and this would be if they are their customer is a business, they could actually just add it to the business account. Money orders. Is it a money order from somewhere? Is it a gift card that they've received from somewhere? Mobile devices. Can we now pay on our mobile phone? Coupons. And this one also talks about the manufacturer coupon versus the retailer's coupon because it has an implication on tax calculations. Food stamps. Is this being paid with food stamps, which also have certain kinds of restrictions associated with them? Is this a purchase order? How about a traveler's check? Somebody's on vacation. And some of the newer ones, like the cryptocurrency, can we play with Bitcoin and the like? And finally, the digital wallet. Digital receipt started in 2002, and it actually went in slightly different direction than POSLog did. And POSLog is the output from the point of sale system. And those two were merged in version 2 of digital receipt. So now digital receipt is a subset of what's in POSLog. In POSLog, for example, you have these 10 different transaction types because POSLog supports the whole retail environment and is the lifeblood of retail, whereas digital receipt is the interface to the customer. And so there are 4 different transaction types that are in digital receipt, and those 4 are a subset of the ones in pause log. The beauty of this is that when you receive a digital receipt or when you want to create one out of it, you can either translate into or out of pause log very, very easily. Thanks for listening to this brief presentation on digital receipt. If you want any more information, please reach out to me at richard.halter@cox.net, and you can find more information in the Arts for Retail book. Thank you again for listening.